Hey, Jonathan, I enjoyed that class. It is rambunctious, and I see why I'm not a ninth grade teacher. And so you're fit for the game. And so as I looked at your observation, you have your notes, and I will clean them up for you. But you wanted me to look at how do you make adjustments in the instruction during your teaching.
Exactly.
Okay, so how did you feel did it go for you?
I mean, it was typical class session. I know what I would aspire to do going into it, but, you know, I'm actually really eager to hear your response and look over the transcription here because, quite frankly, in the heat of the moment, it's kind of hard to tell if I'm accurately modifying instruction. I don't even know. Frankly, if I really did, I need to see it through someone else's eyes to get a clear idea. So I feel like the class went fair enough, though. Yeah.
Okay, and so what strategies do you felt that you did employ?
Well, you know, I brought my tracking chart with me so we could take a look at that and making use of that for, you know, for acknowledging interaction and conversation with the student relating to the actual curriculum. However, as I mentioned earlier in the pre-observation conversation that we had, I was hoping to actually use the point system now as a ranking to the degree to which the student mastered the concept. And I realize now as I look back at it, I neglected to do that, and I need to actually demand that I do that of myself and incorporate that in. Because here they either have 5s or check marks, but I didn't give any 1s or 2s for the ones that were almost there. I know there were a couple of students who couldn't get their 3 bits of supporting evidence, and yet I still managed to get them their full credit, the 5 for that. So I would like to make better use of the point system on the daily tracker.
Okay, so what I did see is that, number one, you did meet your objective that you have for the day, that they highlight a prominent trait, a character trait, and provide support. So the students did do that. As you were going around and working with each of the students, what I observed is that your adjustments during the teaching time was individual. And so it wasn't, especially our student, one of our focus students, who was sitting towards the back of the class, that you knew his personality, and you knew you were sensitive to the emotional part in order to meet the need of the academic part. And I think I had it, where is it back here? Where is his name is... And I put number 32. Wherever you see number 32, here we go. Number 30, and first you went into the emotional part. How are you doing? And you could, as I looked at his body language, it was kind of this. And you pulled the conversation in close, and you stayed back there, and you talked to him for probably about 45 seconds to a minute. And then when you left him, he was working. So that adjustment may not have to be total class, but the individual personalized adjustments for the students that you have concern with to help them master it.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I saw that was one of the ways in which you did it. And then those students who did not completely have all 3, they may have had 2 or 1. No one had 1. Everyone had 2. They were just fighting with that one more. And the way that not only did you have the atmosphere where you were the teacher, but you also had the student, you created a learning community. And help and have the students and their peers help them master. So the thing of the adjustment doesn't have to just land on you, but you helped have the community that be part of that, helping have everyone be not at 2. The goal was 3. And to have everyone help everyone to meet the goal. You did interact with every student. Be it just how you doing, but you did interact with each student. And what I also liked is how they were excited about shifting to the reading, and you saw the tenor of the class change. And so and the way you managed your time by putting those timelines on them, and then as I had the clock going, I was watching your time, and you were being pretty true to
Was that because honestly,
yes.
sometimes they'll arbitrarily throw out numbers and they think I selected 3 for a reason, but the deadliest thing in the class I've learned is like 5 seconds of unused airtime, which can go
Because when you were still giving personal time to the one student, you can hear the volume of the room let you indicate it
that
to
the
you,
rest is there.
rest word.
Right.
And then making that kind of adjustment. So what I would suggest is that when you have those times where you're hearing the volume, have a one more step, just to keep them busy, even though that may have not been your ultimate, may not have been your objective, but a one more step, just
Push
in
them that extra
case
notch.
that you see that they can take it even a step further, they can do more versus than what you have planned.
I like that a lot.
Okay?
It's actually something I mentioned in one of my concerns for, I can't remember exactly in what document it was, but I expressed a serious concern about, I feel like I meet the needs of my lower level and average performing students, in the mainstream class, but for those who, are performing at a higher level, I feel like there's an end of a unit or an end of a lesson or the end of some activity where they may become bored because it's not rigorous enough. So, the one more step, push them the extra, mile is good.
And so that you're doing your differentiation. So, and then you had Yasmin and also Ernesto. I didn't hear his name. You may have said his name, but
Oh,
where
yeah.
I was sitting, I couldn't hear his name.
Yeah,
So,
I just call him Nesto. So that.
I got that. I put UNESCO.
There you go. Hey, we'll take it. Phonetically, we'll take it, right?
Okay, so where I was sitting, you did call him.
Right.
Yeah, so I
He
wrote
was the
down
young-
UNESCO.
He was the young man who said cautious and actually, I would say, had one of the best supported claims in the class with the three things that he said make him a cautious character.
Yes.
He did a great job.
Okay, so yes, so he was addressed, and all of your focus students were addressed. Yasmin, I see one of your concerns about her, not academic, but more behavioral, and you were consistent in addressing it, and there was a balance in your voice when you were addressing it. So it wasn't like you're getting on my last nerve, but you just kind of kept corralling her back in. So you did address all of your focus students. You did meet your objective that you wanted. You are doing different strategies of adjusting your instruction while you already have that coming naturally. You may want to investigate other strategies that you can use, and you're using the class as well. So based on just what we saw today, how would you now look at where you sit on the standard?
Well, it's interesting because I really, as I said to you, I didn't know or couldn't even tell if I did adjust the instruction because I was thinking on, a global scale, not the local scale, and I was looking at the class, and, I had a vision in my mind of where we were going to go with the instruction, and even though we ran short on time and didn't get all the way to the end of what I had planned, I didn't see myself modifying the instruction as a whole for the class based on some lack of understanding. So that's where I was a little reluctant to see that I had even met that, application stage. But now, as you pointed out, I would definitely still say, I'm confident about saying I'm in the application stage. Integrating adjust strategies during instruction based on the ongoing monitoring of individual students' needs for assistance, support, or a challenge. Now, as you mentioned, I think about the conversations I had with the students. One or two I might have let off the hook a little bit or had an opportunity to go deeper with them. Today, interestingly, I felt that I got enough from each student not to ask that they stay after class. 2 out of 3. I mean, I'm in between applying and integrating. I think I'm progressing. I'm moving in the right direction. Students are able to articulate their level of understanding and use teacher guidance to meet their needs during instruction. Yeah, I'd say I'm in between applying and integrating, definitely progressing towards the next step on the scale,
Okay.
in my opinion. I hope. What would you say?
I would agree, based on what the evidence and what I observed in your class. And then I would just, since this is going to be part of your IIP, looking at ways in which you can get more information to find out more strategies that you can incorporate into your repertoire.
Right.
Okay? So we'll set up a meeting next Friday.
Next Friday.
Okay.
Prep time.
Prep time.
Fantastic. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You have a good one.
You do the same.